Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today it's Kylie and Leah here.
Hello.
We thought we would chat today a little bit about our vacations. Like, we both just recently went on vacation, but Leah went to Florida and
Yeah, I didn't do much, so it'll be really short and sweet for me.
Yeah, but still you got in the sun and stuff, but
yours is more exciting.
And then I went to Europe, so that was like my huge thing because I've never been outside of the country besides Canada. But
oh yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Because we live like on the border of Canada, but yeah, never outside of the country.
Dang, I didn't know that. I've been out of the country like so many times.
Yeah. I was like supposed to go to like a resort during COVID, but then COVID
was it a cruise or something?
No, I was just supposed to go to Aruba with my family, like just to a resort, but. I mean, that would have been the only other time out of the country, but then I went to Europe and hit 4 different countries in one trip. Nice. So now I'm up to 5 countries on my resume.
That's crazy, all in one.
Yeah, because Europe, you can so easily bounce around. So, like, what most Americans don't know is, like, when you go to Europe, you can hop on a train. Or you can hop on a plane, and planes are so cheap. Like, you can get a ticket for around, like, $20 sometimes, or $50. Sometimes, like, $100. But it's very easily, like, to travel around there. In the States, if you wanted to fly to, like, New York City, which is only, like, 4.5-hour drive, it would cost you hundreds, like, you know what I mean? Or flying to Florida costs you hundreds, like. But yeah, so you can easily bounce around Europe. While I was there, I totaled up. I took 6 planes, maybe.
Okay,
or
that's
7.
Ridiculous. Does that include layovers?
Yeah, but so I took a plane from here to Washington, and then Washington to Brussels, Belgium, and then Brussels to Copenhagen, Denmark, which is where my first stop was. And then we took 2 more planes while we were there. And then I took my plane home to my layover, and then we took a train there, and then we had a bus tour there. Yeah, so I was we were on the go.
Wait, how was the experience on a really long flight?
Okay, so it was my first international flight. Well, did you technically have an international flight or no?
Yeah, to the Dominican Republic and Aruba, but I don't think I've been on a flight longer than 6 hours.
Yeah, so I mean, this one wasn't that long. So from here to Washington was only an hour-and-a-half flight, and then from there to Brussels was the overnight flight, which was 7.5 hours straight, which, I mean, not terrible, but you do get a little restless at the end.
Do they feed you dinner?
They do, which is crazy because I didn't know that. Yeah, right, you see that in the movies or whatever.
Or first class at least.
Yeah, right. So, wow. And so they fed me dinner, and it was whatever, it's airplane food, but it was pasta and a little piece of bread and a little salad thing, or you could have chicken or whatever. And then
were the seats the same?
They were a little more spacious, and they have seats, and then an aisle, and then a middle row of seats, an aisle, and then another row of seats, and the plane was just huge.
Okay, nice.
But and then it seemed like a longer flight because then the time changed. We jumped 5 hours ahead. So then basically it was dark, and then only for a little bit, and then it jumped, and it the sun was rising, and then they fed us breakfast.
That's kind of crazy.
Shortly after feeding us dinner.
That messed me up.
It did, yeah. And then I landed at 7:30 in the morning, which would be 2:30 in the morning here or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was my first time flying alone that far. So, and landing in a different country, being a little nerve-wracking. But so what was nerve-wracking was I landed in Copenhagen, Denmark, 7 hours before Lexi and her friends did. So I get off the plane, and I have to go find a taxi. There's no Uber in Denmark. and my phone doesn't have service once I leave Wi-Fi because I'm in a different country. So once I leave the airport, I don't have service. So I'm like wheeling my suitcase. I flag down a taxi. Like, he speaks English, but it's like rough. And I'm like, here's the address. Like, bring me 30 minutes to here. And then like as soon as he brought me, like, I didn't have service. So I was like, this could be really bad. Like, so I pretend to like go on my phone. And I pretend to call Lexi, and I'm just like, hey, girls, like, I'm on my way to the Airbnb, like, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, you're meeting friends? And I was like, yeah. Just because, like, all the signs are in a different language, like, in Danish, and you just never know. Like, you're a girl traveling alone, like, young. I
do that
like,
in America, so, yeah, like, I lie so they don't, like, kidnap me or anything.
So I'm like, I'm in Denmark, like, that was so smart. Random. But then I get dropped off there and I'm like stressing to find the Airbnb because I have no service and I'm trying to figure it out. And it's one of those like complicated Airbnbs where it has like 7 steps to even like get in the building. It's like walk over here and then walk over there and you're just like, And then I just waited in the apartment till they came because I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to go find coffee and like potentially struggle to figure out. Like, I don't know the country I'm in. So, but Copenhagen was cool. Their currency is krones.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, I didn't either until I got there. Sounds and like it's strange. That's what someone else said there too. But I went and got a coffee, and they were like, okay, 55 krones. And, like, obviously you have a card, so you just swipe. You don't, like, pay with your cash if you don't want to. But I'm just, like, 55 krones. Like, I'm trying to convert that into, like, USD, and I'm like, I have no idea. Like,
and it's not like you have service to look that up either.
Yeah.
Like you said.
And then, like, our meals there would be around like 180 krones, and you're like, how do I
so what's the difference?
Their krone is like 0.00 something cents to our dollar. So like if 180 krones is the dinner, it would be around 30-40 USD. So, like, it's so strange.
My brain processes slower than others, so I'd be like, oh, what is that?
You would just swipe your card and
2 plus 2 equals 4.
Yeah. Yeah, Copenhagen was cool. What was really cool was in each city we did, like, a pub crawl. So, because I guess when, like, you're traveling, a lot of people do pub crawls, and you just meet people from all over the world. So, like, we would do a pub crawl. We'd meet people from different countries. Some people would be from the States, which was cool. We'd be like, oh, nice. We're from the States, too. Like, yeah, so it was a really good way to, like, meet people. Not like pub crawls here, you know, where it's, like, everyone's from Cuse. Like, everyone would be from everywhere. So it was really
meet a lot of people throughout the time period.
Yeah, like we met this person who lives in Germany right now in the military, but he grew up in New York City. And he lives in Germany, and then we met him in Copenhagen, Denmark. Like, it was just the strangest.
Wait, so, like, was he stationed there? Like, is he an American military?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Okay, so I have a lot of friends that are stationed in Germany right now. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and then, like, they just had a long weekend.
What's their name by chance? I might know them.
The name drop right now?
Or just say the first name.
I try to think. Hold on. Well, they're from New York City. His name is Brian. I'll show you after.
Does his last name start with a B?
No, a P.
Okay, then I don't know.
But yeah, so pub crawls are cool. Highly recommend if you're going to different countries because you just meet a whole bunch of people from everywhere. It was the coolest thing.
That's cool.
And then from Copenhagen, we took a flight to London. And London was so cool, but London was one of those things where I think I romanticized and, like, hyped it up before going because I always wanted to go, like, since I was a kid. And it's just a huge city. Like, it's just, like a New York City type thing. And there's 9 million people that live there. It's just, like, second biggest city in the world.
Wow.
So you can't even do, like, everything. You can't see the whole city. I'm more of, like, I like cities, but I'm not really a city girl. I prefer, like, the cities that resemble more so, like, towns, like, big towns. So, like, smaller cities. Mm-hmm. I like that better. but it was a culture shock. So I wrote some things down because stuff that blew my mind. So with coffee, they don't really put sugar or flavoring in their coffee.
That's healthier.
It is healthy. So it's basically plain, and then it's like oat milk or whole milk or whatever. But I went to ask for like caramel or like vanilla flavoring, and they were like, what? And I was like,
I'm dead.
What do you mean what? Like, I need flavor in my coffee. I can't just drink. It's very Americanized, I guess. Like, frappuccinos are not a thing there. So people from Europe will like come to America and like think of frappuccinos like a treat, like, you know, which it is a really sugary drink. Yeah. But certain places did have flavoring that I could put in my coffee, but it was still kind of like bland. And I guess most places or some places didn't do iced coffee because they don't really do ice. Like, they don't really put ice in their water. Like,
so when you go to a restaurant and you get a drink, they don't put ice in it? It
usually didn't have ice.
So if you order a Coke or something, you just get it room temperatured?
Well, like, the water would come without ice. I mean, I didn't order any soda, and I don't think any of us
But, like,
did.
were the drinks cold?
The water was cold, yeah.
Okay.
But
I was like, what, you get lukewarm drinks?
I don't know. Ice is just, like, not really a thing there. Huh. It's so strange.
Well, it's more of a bang for your buck if you think about it, because people, like, load drinks or even cocktails with ice, so you think, like, ooh, like, look how much I have. But if you take the ice out, it's, like, less than half of what you ordered.
Right. So. And nobody tips in Europe, so that was strange.
So they must get paid well, I'm assuming.
They get paid well, but still probably not what you would think they should. Like, I think waitresses and bartenders still get like under 20 an hour, but I think living there is cheaper. Someone that lived in Scotland when we were there said that you can get like a 1 bedroom for like $400 or $500.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wow, not here. Like, not even.
America's economy is crazy.
Yeah, and Syracuse, we don't even live in like that much of an expensive city. Like, we're like,
and now the base like pay for rent is like $1,000 or more.
Right. So I mean, if they're getting paid that much, it's equaling out, right?
Right.
But tips, I mean, our tip culture here is crazy. Like, we rely so much off tips.
And sometimes they automatically put the tip on the bill without you knowing to.
So it's weird. Like, it would be weird for us to get dinner, have someone serve us, and not tip. It was like a strange feeling, but it was expensive over there. I mean, you know, some places did put like a service charge. So that's like technically a tip.
How much money did you splurge? Did you splurge as much as you thought you would?
Honestly, no.
Like a couple grand?
I didn't. Yeah, I did, but it wasn't as much as I thought I was going to. I pretty much tried to like budget pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I remember you saying you got like appetizers and stuff.
Like, I would get, because we would eat like multiple times a day, and like here at home I don't eat like too much a day, but when I go on vacation, I think everyone, you eat more just because you're waking up a little earlier, your body gets used to like you spoiling yourself with like 3 meals a day. I mean, it was more expensive though, because krones and then pounds was England and Scotland. So pounds, if my meal was 20 pounds, it would actually be 25 USD.
Oh.
You'd be losing $5 every 20 pounds. Yeah.
How often did you guys eat and like cook at home?
So at first, I was really just getting like coffee because my body wasn't really used to the vacation like mode yet, and I was kind of jet lagged, and you don't really eat much when you're jet lagged. So I would just get coffee, and then I would eat like a big meal at dinner. But then my body started getting on the routine of like, because they were like, oh, let's go out to breakfast. And I was like, okay, I'm actually waking up starving, and I don't know why, because I don't do this at home. So then we would get breakfast. We would only maybe have like a snack around lunch, or maybe nothing, and then a dinner. So I still like And then we did cook at home. We cooked at home once in Copenhagen. I think we made pasta. We got it cheap, like at the market. Once at London, we did like a charcuterie board kind of with wine. And then once in Scotland. And then Dublin, I was only there for like 2 days. So we cooked a couple times. But those couple times did help.
How were the Airbnbs that you stayed at? Were they cool at all?
So they were very old and had a lot of like history and culture to it. Kind of like Tip Hill, like, you know how they keep their like old buildings and stuff. The Copenhagen one, it was cool because they were like old but kind of modernized. Like they tried to, you know, modernize them a little bit. The Copenhagen one had a cool view of like the main strip. Like you would open the window, you could look out, see the main strip. They were like nicely updated, but still had their old like vibe to it.
Were they reasonably priced too?
No, they were expensive because they were in the city, like the hearts of the cities.
Right. How many did you stay at?
Expensive.
In total?
4.
Dang.
Yeah. So. And then, they don't have dryers there, so they just have washing machines.
Oh, so you like hang them up?
You hang your
like
clothes, yeah. I don't know why they don't have dryers in Europe, but most places did not. There was one in Dublin, Ireland, and they used it, but it took hours to even dry their stuff, so it wasn't like efficient.
Right.
The Airbnbs were nice though. Let me think.
Was there anything you didn't like about your trip?
No, like overall it was definitely a really good experience and I would definitely go back to Europe. It's just so different than the US. I wouldn't say that there's anything I like disliked. There was just difference.
Right.
Like, so you don't truly realize how important America is until you go to a different country. And
you're saying important like in a positive way? Like,
yeah, like, you know how everyone's like, oh, America's the best, and it's like it's super hyped up. You go to a different country and like in the clubs, in the bars, in the restaurants, they're only playing our music.
Oh.
Yeah. Whether it's throwbacks or what, our music is being played, and at the bars, everybody's singing along. They
I
know
guess
all
I
the
couldn't
words.
be like surprised because I know like a lot of people in different countries also grew up on American television too.
Mm-hmm, so. That too. So they watch all of our movies, TVs, like.
I didn't realize how prevalent like America was in other countries. Yeah,
we're very like,
because it's not like we say like, oh yeah, I grew up watching this UK TV show like, every morning when I was 13. Like,
exactly.
No.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
And everyone basically speaks English.
Oh yeah, it's like a requirement in most schools in other countries, which like is so smart, and I don't understand why they don't like really push that forward in America schooling systems either. Like they do, but we should start as early as elementary school, because I know people start really young in other countries. I would love to be bilingual, even trilingual. I mean, I still have the opportunity, but it's just harder as an adult learning.
It is easier as a kid too. Like your brain's more of a sponge. It learns more. We didn't start language till
middle school.
Mm-hmm. That's too late. Our brain's already developing. It's harder to learn a language starting at 12, 13. Like,
and so many people in different countries like literally know like 3 or more languages.
That's so
true.
That
really impressive.
Right. That's so true. But yeah, and a lot of people I would talk to, they would be like, oh, you got to vote, and talk about the government. And they would know more about politics in America than I even do.
Yeah, it's crazy. I watched Love is Blind Sweden.
I almost started that.
Yeah, like I had the voiceovers and everything, and one guy like was like, "Oh, do you think Biden will run again in office?" And I'm like, "Why is a Swedish person like
it's so
concerned
important
with American
to them.
politics?"
When I got on the plane from Copenhagen to London, I sat next to this middle-aged girl. All she talked about the whole flight. She knew so much.
Yeah,
she's like,
crazy.
"Please vote. Tell me you will. It's so important." And I'm like, I can't be bothered.
I don't understand
with
though.
politics.
Why does it like affect them? So I mean, like that's awesome. I feel like we should pay attention to world news. Like I get notifications on my phone like every single day, like what's going on internationally. But I'm also curious as to why like they're concerned like so much as far as voting. Like what you just said with that lady telling you that.
It doesn't affect them. They're just so concerned with the U.S. because I think we have a lot of drama, more so than Europe or other countries. And I don't know. I
guess there could be a ripple effect. Like inevitably, like our politics could eventually affect other countries because America is so influential.
That's true. Or like other countries partnering up with America and stuff. But it's so strange. She's telling me this and I'm like, you know, like way more than I do. It's so strange.
We're very dense. I realize that Americans are not only like self-centered and stubborn, but like we're very limited in our knowledge, and it's kind of embarrassing and pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is.
I'm trying to get better on that. Like, I know I'm ignorant in a lot of areas that I don't mean to be, but I'm like, I
am too, but I don't know about politics. It's something I just don't care to wrap my head around more than surface level stuff of it, because I just feel like there's so much other stuff in the world that I need to know first before I just don't think I ever need to dive super deep into politics.
Well, it's kind of dangerous, like living in America, because propaganda is being spread like nationally, and we believe everything we're being told, like on TikTok or Facebook. Like we just read a heading of an article and just go with it, or nobody does like investigating into like the topic. So there's just like misleading information swarming all over America. So we think that we're so knowledgeable, but in actuality, like you're just so like brainwashed and like biased, and it's like embarrassing.
Exactly. So I'd rather not.
Like people hate Trump, but then when I ask them like to like further explain themselves, they like, oh, I don't know what to say. I'm like, Steve, like all you revert to is saying he's racist, but I want you to tell me what like policies and stuff that you disagree with him, and they like are stumbling, and that's what's embarrassing to me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not know? And you're just mad about somebody's character. Like, we'll never 100% like someone. Like, that's so unrealistic. I will never agree with what anybody says, not even my friends, not even, like, you.
Yeah,
like, that's, like, impossible.
Yeah.
So how do you expect me to vote for somebody that I think is 100% perfect all around? Like, of course, I don't agree with all of, like, Trump stuff or whoever. I'm just using it as an excuse or an explanation. Oh, my gosh. An example. Wow. Brain fart. See, I'm a dumb American. But no, like seriously, like people just think, I associate her with being racist because she voted for Trump.
Right.
So it's like,
it's just
good on them. Maybe we should like leave the country.
Right. No, I've been thinking that so much as of recent too. And it puzzles them because they're like, why is America so divided? They're confused that like we're all separated and we all can't agree and we all have.
Well, that's kind of truthful, like true in part.
Yeah, but like we're divided so badly, like more so because we're other stubborn countries.
And we like won't agree to disagree, or like even if you oppose somebody else's like ideas, still be open to listen to them. It doesn't mean that you absolutely have to agree with them, but I think it's very important to even have friends with different backgrounds and different just everything overall, because it keeps you learning and evolving and knowledgeable. If you just stay narrow-minded and like stuck in your own little beliefs, then you're just like not growing. So
yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to listen to the other person, and then if you don't agree with me, apparently like I'm gonna fight you and like I hate you and you're terrible. Like it's just embarrassing.
Also, everyone moves at like a very slow pace there. You know how like
We're
New
very
York,
fast-paced.
everyone's fast. Everyone's running to get everywhere. It seems like they like slow down there.
Well,
a
that's how
lot.
like down south is even in America too. Like I
That's
hear
true.
states down south
Yeah.
are slow.
But it's strange because nobody will say like "excuse me." It seems like they just run into you.
Oh, I don't really like
Very
that.
strange, very strange. I guess in France, when Lexi and them were there, French people kind of hate everyone. We know that, but they will just body check you. Like, if you don't move, they won't move, and they'll just run right into you and body check you. Mostly here, too. If I wasn't going to be the one to move in the street, like, that person was going to run into me. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Did you notice any like pickpocketing?
No,
anywhere?
actually, no. I know. I had that concern too.
I mean, it's more so prevalent in like Barcelona, like Spain, and all of that. I hear stories.
Yeah, I didn't. I felt very safe in
good.
most of the countries. To the point where I did feel like I could walk down the street by myself. I
At
mean,
night? Did you guys even stay out late?
we did some nights, but during the day in London, Lexi and her friend had a reservation at a sushi restaurant. I just didn't like sushi, so I was just like, I'll get some coffee and walk around. I went and got coffee, and then I walked like 20 minutes one way, went to a bookstore, walked 20 minutes back. I felt safe. It was fine. Scotland, I felt very safe too. I do feel like I could walk the streets at night in Scotland, probably in Edinburgh where I was. It just, crime there is different. It's less. It feels a little safer. Syracuse, I probably would not walk by myself, you know.
How's nightlife there? Like, besides you saying like they played American music, were like the drinks good, the service, or the people, the vibe?
Actually, the drinks fucking suck.
Really? Like they weren't as strong?
Okay, no. So also, I'm a tequila girly, but you
Like
know,
tequila sunrise?
just tequila shots, tequila and whatever. I don't know. I'm more of a shot girly because I pee a lot, right? I have a bladder problem. So drinks, you know, that's consuming a lot of liquid if I just keep having multiple drinks throughout the night and sugar. So I just am more of like a shot and then, yeah, call it until the next shot. But I'm a tequila girly and they did not have good tequila. I don't know if that's because they are so far from where tequila is like made. Like they didn't have like Mexican food either. Or like they had very few Mexican food. But they only had Jose Cuervo,
Yeah, I'm
which
like,
is
wait, what?
so gross. Patron only in some places. And then some well tequila. And I was like, wow, the options are slim. Like, come to my bar. We got Don Julio. We got Casamigos. Like, Don Julio's my favorite. Right? So, I'm getting tequila shots. I'm, like, suffering through them. And I'm like, these are horrible. Like, you don't have any other tequila? Okay. And this was not just, like, a couple bars. This was every time we went on a bar crawl, we went to, like, 6 or 7. And
Was this during the day, too?
no, this was, it started at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, I thought you said, like, they would, like, go home at 9 p.m.
Well, we only went to the bar crawls once a weekend. So we only went twice. And then we only went out a couple other times. But, yeah, the drinks, I mean, not the best. Well, that's just because I wanted tequila, and maybe they had other better drinks. I did have a extra dirty martini for the first time at one restaurant. The only one that, like, had it. Well, do you like olive juice? Or olives?
No.
Oh, then you wouldn't like it.
I've always wanted to try a pickle shot, though.
Oh, picklebacks.
I'm a pickle
yes.
girl.
I literally asked like 4 bars for a pickleback and they were like, no, we don't do that. I was like, but we're so close to like Ireland and JMO's Irish and pickle juice is just everywhere. But picklebacks are like my favorite because it cuts the JMO so well. But I love olives too, and that's what a dirty martini is. It's vermouth, gin, and olive juice, and then olives. And if you get it extra dirty, it's more olive juice, but it's straight up alcohol and olive juice.
Oh.
Yeah. Super strong. You have two of them, you're knocked out your ass. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I like that.
But the vibes were cool.
Nice.
I mean, it was weird though, because kind of like the bar clubs that we went in, kind of like they were kind of giving Syracuse like very small hole in the wall, but the people were cool and they were fun. I liked the vibes with like that. That was cool.
Were people fascinated like by your guys' accents, like even the waiting staff at restaurants or anywhere?
Not really the waiting staff, because they didn't really...
Oh, Americans.
They weren't really, like, talkative to us. I feel like they've, like, seen Americans a lot. But at the bar crawls and stuff, everyone would always just, like... At the bar crawls, you just go up to each other and you're like, hey, like, where are you from? And then you, like, start talking, the accents and stuff. But a lot of people are like, where are you guys from? Obviously, the States, they would say... And I was like, yeah, New York. And then I paused and be like, upstate New York. Because, well, some of them would be like, where in New York? And I'd be like, or I'd say upstate. And they'd be like, where? And I'm like, oh, you know Syracuse or no? And some people actually did. They're like, yeah, the college and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty famous university.
That's pretty much the only way that people know Syracuse.
Right, because like Carmelo Anthony was a basketball player there. Right. Now he's huge.
So some people knew. Some people didn't, but I would be like, it's like 4.5 hours from the city around. Yeah, nice. But some people are super fascinated. Sometimes it was hard to understand certain people. Definitely, Scottish and Irish were a little bit hard because they kind of talk fast too, and they have an accent, so it would get kind of lost in like translate. And I'd be like, what? And then they'd have to repeat themselves. And, like, I was focusing so hard on what they were saying to try to understand. But I was like, let me ask you a question. I was like, you guys don't ever, like, you know what we're saying, right? Like, every word, you don't have a hard time understanding us. And they're like, no, of course not. Like, we grew up on American movies. We just can like understand. So, yeah.
That's cool. Seems like you had a really fun time.
What else? Oh, in Copenhagen, they literally would not come to your table. You had to flag them down to be like, can I have water? Like, they would not.
So they wouldn't check up on you?
No. They would not sit you down and give you water, like here.
Well, some restaurants here, you seat yourself.
Yeah, no, but they would seat you and then not give you water. You'd flag them down and be like, can I have some water? And then you flag them down and say, I'm ready to order. And then you have to, everywhere in Europe, you would have to ask for the bill. Nobody's going to come to your table and put the bill down for you. You're going to ask for it. Because I think a lot of them sit around and talk for a while and chat and just are not in a rush. You know, here in America, they take your order, they feed you, they put the bill down, they're like, get out, like, you know, like,
because we need our money.
Yeah, like, turnover is super fast. Yeah, no, not
They're
there.
probably chill, just like how you said rent there could be as small as $500. I feel like we're fast paced because we're
hustle culture here. Yeah. Super hustle culture.
Against our will, though.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it benefits, though. Sometimes it does not. I mean, if you are a hustler and you make it big here in America, then there you go.
I feel like America lives to work and not work to live. And I noticed that majority of countries are very good with work to life balance, or like have a 4-day work week. So that's probably one of the many reasons why they're slow paced, because they actually get to enjoy and embrace life, and that's something that we don't really.
I think I heard they get 4 to 6 weeks off vacation time per year, and we only technically get 2 with like corporate jobs, like 9 to 5s. Yeah, because 2 weeks is like nothing if you think about it. They hear that and they're like confused. Like, how can you go everywhere you want to go in 1 year in 2 weeks when they get like 4 to 6 or 4 to 7 weeks? Like,
did you get any cool like souvenirs or anything at stores? Yeah,
I got like some crew necks, a mug,
your H&M $17 leggings.
Yeah, that was stupid. Some chocolate, some shortbread cookies, because I guess they're big over there.
So, like, no cool, like, clothing or anything?
No, I got a crew neck that said Scotland, and then I got another crew neck that said...
How do you get a dress or something, though?
No, I mean, Copenhagen had very weird clothing. Like, their style was, like, cool, but very unique. And, like, I just didn't want to spend more on clothes. I don't really need more clothes. There wasn't also anything that was, like, really catching my eye that looked super non-American or just cool in general. It was just, like, I don't know. I was spending my money on food and stuff. Yeah. And we did a lot of activities. A lot of tours, castle tours, dungeon, ghost tours. Yeah, we did a ghost tour in Edinburgh, Scotland, which was cool.
Were you the one that suggested that?
No, actually, Lexi was, yeah. Wow. It was cool, though, because Edinburgh has a lot of history. So it dated all the way back to, like, the 1100s of when, couldn't even fathom, like, how long ago that is. But they took us down to the vaults underground. And a lot of people died down there. It was, like, the plague years. Like, so many people died down there. And then they just built, like, the city on top of it. And, like, all these dead bodies are just building stuff on top of it because they have to eventually. Lots of weird energy down there. Was not really fucking with it. Like, the tour guide was like, you could feel a lot of potential energy. There's a lot of, people that have died. I've seen a few ghosts. I do this tour all the time, and I never thought I would see something, but, like he said, one time he saw, like, a shadow, like a guy walking, not a shadow, a guy walking, like, past, and we were in very dim light. We were in, like, torchlight, like, underground. There's not going to be, like, actual light. And then he would say, like, sometimes I see, like, a little boy sitting in the corner. And there was a story about a little boy that died down here. And sometimes, like, a woman will feel like him trying to hold their hand. Like, I was creeped out. But I just felt very strong energy. Like, just strong.
Hopefully you didn't bring anything back with you.
No, I know. I'm trying not to think about that. But then he took us to the graveyard. And where a ton of people died, and he took us in this, like, tomb thing, and he was standing at the door of it. We were all inside of it, and he was like, there is a lot of, like, kind of, like, demonic, like, a lot of energy here. And he's like, some people pass out, some people feel this or that. And I'm standing there, and we're in there for, like, 5 minutes, and I'm starting to feel really fucking weird, and I'm kind of like, I kind of want to get out. I'm not feeling so hot.
Wow, even you saying that is impressive.
Well, because I can feel, like, energies, like, heavily. Like, I can feel people's energy.
I'm big on that as well.
So I was starting to not be able to, like, breathe. I kind of felt like I was starting to choke. And I was like, I gotta get out of here.
I can see why you wanted to leave.
So then we all leave, and he goes, yeah, just to let you guys know, I've stepped foot in there once, and I won't ever step foot in there again, because I didn't like how I felt. That's why he stood at the door. And I was like, oh, you didn't want to tell us that before?
Oh, he didn't give you the heads up?
No, he told us after. I was like, are you kidding? I was
so professional.
Yeah, but it was a really cool tour, historical. Let's see what else I wrote down about it. Oh, TJ Maxx. You know how we have TJ Maxx here? They have TK Maxx.
What does the K stand for?
I think they just couldn't use TJ Maxx. It's in the same font. They have everything the same in the store. It's so strange.
An off-brand?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, like, purposes of not being able to, like, use the same name in a different country.
I'd sue. Don't copy my brand.
They probably got the okay, but, like, I just think it's funny that they changed one letter and it's the same exact store.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, also, though, one of the biggest culture shocks there, they do not know what ranch is.
Do you know what blue cheese is?
Yeah. But ranch, no. They serve mayo with everything, which is disgusting to me. I believe it. They dip their fries in mayo. Mayo is on every sandwich. But, like, they don't know what ranch is. You mentioned ranch, and half of them have no clue.
Shoot, I wouldn't have a problem. I'm a blue cheese girl.
Really? Oh, so Cool Ranch Doritos there is called Cool Original or Cool American. And like they refuse to use the word ranch. I don't know why. It's so strange.
Gives them the ick.
But like these two Irish guys on my flight home, they were like, what is ranch? Because I like said, have you guys had ranch? They're like 50 years old and they're like, no, they're heading to Vegas for the weekend. I was like, get ranch, get fries, get ranch, get chicken tenders, get ranch. And they were like what color is it? And I'm like trying to explain it, and it's so funny. They also have never had Taco Bell before, and they're almost 50 years old. And I was like, wow.
They're not really missing out.
I was like, no, I love Taco Bell.
Oh.
We had Taco Bell once there in London because they were deprived. But it was different. There was no ranch for the Gordita Crunch taco. And then they did have a different sauce, though, called volcano sauce.
We have that here too, weirdo. I mean, I think I've seen it before.
I don't know. We were eating it and we were like, we've never had this before.
Oh.
But it was kind of shit over there.
Wow.
A little bit.
I didn't realize how much you guys like Taco Bell.
The only fast food I'll really eat besides fries.
Oh my gosh. Anything else? You stayed there for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, like 17 days, but that's including 2 days of flights, so
still
15 days. Yeah, I know. I felt like I was. I think that is the longest I've been away.
I'd tap out. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go home.
There was times when I was like, oh, I'm kind of like missing home a little, missing our like just America. Not that it was like bad over there, but you just get homesick a little bit sometimes, no matter where you are for that long.
Were Lexi and Alex like being bougie and stuff?
Alex definitely wanted to
like order a big bottle of wine that's like 500 beans or like something crazy. You said like Lexi bought a $100 shirt, right?
Oh yeah, that was at a brand. That was at a brand store. It was a t-shirt.
You'll never a t-shirt, bro. You'll never catch me doing that. Sorry.
Yeah, it was funny,
but she has the means to do so. So
yeah.
Get it, girl.
Yeah. It was just weird. I mean, but being in a different country, as strange as it was, it also didn't feel so far from home at the same time. Sometimes when you go on trips, you feel like, I feel how far I am from home. You can like feel the distance sometimes. I didn't necessarily feel it there that much. It kind of felt homey there. In a way.
That's nice.
I could see myself buying a little place in Europe somewhere, but having like a place there and a place in the States. I wouldn't want to not ever have a place in the States as well, because this is home, whatever. They think it's so crazy though that like Europeans think it's so crazy that you can't like bounce around the States as easy as you can there. Like
with travel
flights, they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Like from here to Cali is literally the same amount from here to Europe.
How much was that?
I paid like $750. I've paid also $750 to go to Cali before.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just depends like when you go and whatever, but sometimes it can cost that much, which is just crazy that it can also cost me that much to go to Europe and back.
Yeah.
Strange. But also they think it's so funny that you can just drive from state to state. Like, I can drive from here to Cali if I really wanted to.
Or are there walls up at each place? Or
no, they just can't. Like, the two guys from Ireland thought it was insane because Ireland's basically an island. There's a sea in between Ireland and Scotland.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So you can drive all around Ireland, but you can't leave, like, the country. It's weird.
Well, that makes more sense.
But anywhere else you can get around.
Right.
But it blew their mind. And then they were also like, you can drive to Canada? Like, you live that close to Canada? And I was like, yeah. Like, the whole conversation was making me feel so fortunate. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I can really drive to any state I want to, and I can drive to Canada.
Well, like, not every state can. Puerto Rico, you probably have to fly out of there to go.
Well, yeah, I can't drive to Puerto Rico.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that not every state is easily accessible. So, like, in a way, we can relate to their...
Right.
traveling struggles. depending on where you live. But.
Right. Yeah. But it's just like when you're in Ireland, you're trapped in Ireland.
Right.
You can only drive all around Ireland.
Did you go there?
Yeah, for only like 2 days.
Was like the grass really green? Was it?
Yeah,
like,
it actually was so green.
That's what I was like wondering because pictures and stuff.
Yeah, but it rains so much. I feel like that's why the grass is green. It rains a lot in Europe, but we fortunately had pretty good weather. It really only rained like 2 days out of our whole trip.
So was the sun still out, or was it primarily gloomy?
The sun was out some days. It was gloomy some days, but I think we got very lucky with weather because London and Scotland and Ireland, they all rain a fuck ton.
What was the temperature like 50s?
So Copenhagen was like 30s, 40s.
Wow.
But it was bearable to be outside. You just kind of bundle a little. We would just walk around the town, hop in a shop, like coffee shop or dinner, whatever, or a clothing shop. London got up to like 50s. Scotland was back down to like 40s. Maybe some days were 50s. And then Ireland was a little cold. The one day was weird though because I really only flew in, got there at like 4:30, only had the full next day, and then my flight was at 9 a.m. the next day. I really only had a day and a half in Ireland, which kind of sucked. But the one day, the full day that we were there, we took a 3-hour bus ride to the Cliffs of Moher, which is like their staple. It was pouring, and then we went up to the cliffs by the ocean. The wind was hundreds of miles per hour. We were like flying away as the rain is like flying at us.
Ooh, that
it was
feels
a
like it would
miserable
hurt,
time.
Like pelts hitting you.
Miserable. And then drove 3 hours back. So we were on a bus for like 12 hours that day. Ooh. But we made stops, and then we went to the cliffs, and then we stopped for lunch. It was kind of like we were on a field trip, which was kind of cool. But yeah, the weather there was pretty miserable. But other than that, our weather was like great, which that's all you can ask for because it rains, I don't know, 90% of the year there. Like,
jeez.
Because they don't have really winter. It's kind of just rain.
Jeez. How was it like coming back home? Did you jump right back into work or?
No. So the plane ride home was great up until the last 30 minutes. He couldn't land because it was so windy. I don't know if you ever had that problem where they have to keep like circling. And I get motion sickness, right? But I'm fine on a plane until we start doing this.
Right.
So he starts circling for 30 minutes and we can't land. And the turbulence is shaking the whole plane so badly that you feel like you're in a simulation.
For the full 30 minutes?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then you're like, he's dropping, and you're having those stomach drops, like when you go on a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly what you're describing. Oh, geez.
And all I could hear was people just puking their brains out. And I was like, wow, I feel like I'm in a horror film right now. Like, this is terrible.
Final Destination.
And then I started to get really bad motion sickness. I was almost about to puke. I was like, this is not a good time. I get off the plane, instantly just so sick. I like went to the bathroom and I was like, all right, it's fine. Like, don't throw up. You're okay. Like, so bad. And then I got in Thursday night, did not work Friday, worked at the bar on Saturday. I was so exhausted. I'm still exhausted. I'm still jet lagged. Like, I have no idea why.
Dang.
I mean, you can be jet lagged. They say every hour of time zone that you like lose or whatever. So I had 5. It can take an hour a day.
That makes sense.
So I technically takes me 5 days to recover.
Do you also have like post-vacation depression too?
Oh, I do. Very bad.
It's a thing.
Very bad. As soon as I got home,
I'd be miserable at work. Just be like, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
back into this BS.
I haven't gone back to work yet besides the bar, but I have like no motivation. I'll try to like clean my room. I'll clean like 2 things and I'll sit down and just stare. Like, it's so bad. And I'm already trying to plan like my next vacations. It's so bad.
Jeez.
So bad.
Did you hit the gym again or?
Nope, not yet. Because I've been so fatigued from the plane. I don't know why.
I started doing the Stairmaster more after you mentioned the 30 minutes.
Oh, the 30, 12, 10, or whatever.
12, 3, 30. That's more so the treadmill. I was saying, because you said the longest you stayed on the Stairmaster was 30 minutes. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that more. I think I lasted 10 minutes, which is the most I've done. But I'm focusing on that in conjunction with other workouts too for like PT tests I have coming up. I was like, dang, Kylie does this.
I go back and forth between the stairs and then the treadmill, the 12:30, yeah, that I'll go back and forth because sometimes I get bored of like doing the stairs every day or whatever. So I have to switch it around so I don't get bored.
Right. I have a whole like split workout plan and a diet going on, so my body is just aching.
Yeah, the food over there is we kind of ate like American-ish. I did not really try any of their like special foods. Dang. Besides a crumpet, which is so good.
I wanted to know the difference too because, you know, the ingredients that we have here in America, like you get bloated more and all that stuff, so I wanted to see the difference.
So, well, what I did notice was the bread. You know how, like, I don't know if you eat bread here and you feel bloated or kind of... Some people get really bad stomach issues with bread, I being one of them if you eat too much. Yeah. So over there, bread is like huge. They home make it. There's a lot of bakeries, different kinds of breads. And we ate a lot of bread because it was just like, they're special and it tasted so much better over there, especially Copenhagen. So I noticed I was able to eat like big slices of bread, and they have whipped butter, which is so good. It's just so smooth and creamy. And I would notice I would not get like the usual stomach ache, bloating when I eat our bread here. I don't think they put... I think our bread has like preservatives in it and stuff. And their pasta is... I think our pasta has a lot of preservatives in it that theirs does not. Yeah. Their bread was amazing. It was very good. But yeah.
I never heard someone speak so highly of bread.
Oh, because they just like made it with love and they homemade it. Yeah. It's very hard for us to... We don't really have like bakeries with breads that much. Like people don't really...
I haven't been around the block, you know, so I can't really speak on that. That's funny though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a thing at every corner there. I don't know. But I don't think I was there long enough to be able... I feel like if I was like buying their groceries and I was living there for at least maybe a month or two and I was consistently buying groceries and cooking at home, I think I would notice more of a difference. But eating out every day and only being there for like 2 weeks, I don't think it gave my body enough time to understand if...
Right. When does the rest of them come back home?
Well, so listen to this. They're supposed to come home Thursday because they're in Italy right now.
This Thursday coming up?
Yes, so 2 days. But their flight got canceled to come home. And I was like, why? I just found this out today. And they were supposed to go from Italy to Germany and Germany home. And I guess Germany's on like strike right now or something. So something about the airlines, they can't fly. Like, why are they on strike and why can't you get home?
So in a sense, like a travel ban going on?
Just from Germany, I think. So if their flight's canceled there,
that's kind of scary.
Lexi's gonna try to fly home from Italy. I don't know about them too. The other ones, I mean, I guess.
Does she know where her next contract's gonna be?
Yes.
Where is it? Where is it?
Am I telling you over the pod?
Yeah.
Palm Springs, California, and I'm going to visit.
Oh, wow. When does she start?
She starts middle of March. So she'll be middle of March, middle or end of March, till middle or end of June.
And the contract's what, 3 months?
Yeah, okay. 3 months.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she can't stay there in the summer. Palm Springs, California is the desert.
Right.
So as soon as like April hits, it gets to like 100 degrees and then it just gets higher and higher every month. But I really want to go.
And is Alex going to stay here, I'm assuming, since she's a boo? Yeah.
Yeah, I think she always stays here for the most part.
For her.
And then...
I'll have to visit. I never been to the West Coast.
You should definitely go. I'm definitely going to try to go for at least like a handful of days. I don't know when though, because I really don't want to go in May or June because it gets really hot. And that's our nice weather here.
I wouldn't be able to go with you in May since I'm going to Rockville Festival.
Oh yeah. So I think I might try to go in April.
That's a good time.
I don't know. But then also her other friend that traveled with us, Caitlin, just got a contract in Seattle, Washington, and I want to go to Washington so bad. I mean, I hear their summers are like incredible. Just like super landscape, the trees, the mountains, the water.
Nice.
So that's super cool too. But
good for her. That sounds fun. She'll have a good time.
yeah, this is my brain already trying to be like, when's my next vacation? Because I have such, I don't know what the issue is.
You know who I noticed who's traveled a lot too is Kaylee. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that. I'm like,
and Jackson, and yeah. And then
I'm missing out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're welcome to travel.
Dude, I'm out here just trying to find a job, but the job market right now in 2024 is excruciatingly bad. But I do find comfort that I'm not the only one struggling right now. I've been watching a bunch of TikToks and people, like, literally, they applied to over 500 jobs and have been unemployed for 6+ months and still can't find anything. I have an interview tomorrow, but at this point, I'm just, like, tapped out.
I'm tapped out with working. I'm just trying to quit.
Dude, like, seriously, I'm very intrigued on becoming a bartender, but I don't know if, like, my ADHD would coincide with that or what. I could never be a server, that's for sure. I'd forget.
Well, I feel like ADHD and bartending,
I hyper focus a lot though, but like
I feel like
I could be easily overwhelmed if 10 people come up to me at once and give me orders. I do too,
but how
many orders do you take at once?
I literally can't take more than like
1 or 2.
4.
Oh, okay, that's decent, I'd assume.
Yeah, I really can't take more than like 4, or else I'll go back and be like, okay, what?
Have you ever found yourself like not knowing how to make the drink and you YouTube it or something? Or
not YouTube it. I'll literally it's too busy to sit there and YouTube it. I'll ask like a coworker.
Yeah.
Because usually my coworker will know, or I'll just ask them. Because if they sound confident in what they're ordering, I'll be like, what is that?
Do you have most of the drinks down in your head now?
Yeah, most of them, yeah.
Have you been doing it for, what, a few years or no?
Only like a year and a half or 2.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 2.
And you picked up on it pretty well?
Yeah. It doesn't take too long. Oh, it depends what bar. I mean, if you're starting at like a cocktail bar where you're like,
I don't know where to start. Like, do I go to Olive Garden or something?
You can.
Like something
or like some people start at Tully's, like, you know, pubs like that where it has a bar and a restaurant.
Applebee's.
Yeah, or Applebee's or something, because you're not making anything too extraordinary. It's always good to just start with like a base place, but bartending's just, it's so fun. I don't even know why. I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, it's the only job where I'm like begging to go to work.
And you get good money and you socialize. I love meeting new people, so I feel like that would be a great avenue for me.
And you don't have to do it 5-7 days a week. You can do it like you'll be fine.
I'm just very nervous and apprehensive, and I don't want to make a fool of myself in the beginning, but that just goes for any job when you start.
Oh yeah, you'll be a fool at any job. Like,
people go to bartending schools.
I know, that's more unnecessary, or that's if you're trying to like start with like a very fancy place where you already know the 12-part drinks or whatever. But it's easier to just work your way up to it. I don't know, like, that stresses me out. Like, if I went into a bar really fancy, I have to know like all the different fancy drinks. I don't know about that. But
were you, like, when you started trading, were you just full-fledged, like, exposed, or did you have to come in early where there was no customers to learn?
Nope, thrown into the water. It's just very...
Or you just watch them, or do they make you make drinks for people?
No, they make you make drinks. They get so busy. I mean, it really depends where you start. Yeah, you just get thrown to the wolves.
I don't have a poker face, so you could easily tell if I'm stressed out.
Oh, yeah. No, I get very stressed out. But I think it would be so cool to be, like, a traveling bartender. I wish there was a company.
Like on a beach and stuff, too. Yeah. I can guarantee you make so much money. And, like, especially being a woman, bar, too. That's
a beach bar. Everyone's on vacation all the time, right? People coming in and out, and then you do have the rich locals too. But I think that there should be like a service where it's traveling bartending, and you should be able to look at a website, see different contracts where it's like, oh, hey, this bar will need you for like 3 months if you want to come, and you don't need, we know you have experience or you don't or whatever. And you should be able to pick different locations of, like, the U.S. Wouldn't that be so sick?
Bartending school where we are.
Wouldn't that be so sick, though?
No, it would be.
And then you could just go stay in an Airbnb for, like, 3 months, bartend wherever you are, and then if you're bored there, you can go somewhere else in the U.S., or if you want to stay there and you like it, you just renew your contract again.
Oh, I'm dead. There's a professional bartending schools of America, Syracuse bartending school, and there's Buffalo, Rochester locations as well. Wow. It's on Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool. Oh, okay, wow.
I mean, you don't necessarily need it, but you could.
With my slow butt.
Yeah, but with our day and age, you can literally just watch YouTube videos or TikToks. I mean, back then you couldn't.
Right, but that also requires me to buy all the ingredients and stuff like that. I don't want to spend too much.
You can just use water and fake stuff.
Yeah. Wow. I have to look into it. I'm also been looking into like passive income too and finding different ways to.
Yes, that's so important.
That's what sucks about living in America. Like, you really can't rely on one salary.
Yeah.
Or one paycheck.
I feel like it would just be so nice to be able to sit at home and just collect money.
Right.
Or travel and collect money.
I just don't have the sources and the means right now, which is unfortunate, but I've always wanted to be like a business owner or whatever, or have like a non-profit. But I'm just like gonna have to accept reality and recognize that I won't be able to do those things probably 5 to 10 years from now.
I cannot accept that reality. For some reason, my brain just won't let that. It doesn't sit right with me that I can't.
With my partner.
Yeah, but like,
did you even hear that?
Yeah.
I'll repeat it just in case nobody heard it. I feel like I'd have to do that with my partner if I'm married. It would make me feel more secure and comfortable having someone else with another income and also more knowledge. I really like to date people who are more knowledgeable than me and experienced,
for sure.
so I can learn from them.
Just as of late, I'm just like, what the hell are we doing here? And why can't we do whatever the fuck we want when we want?
Yeah, I reached a point in my life where I'm like, what am I living for?
Like, just why are we tied down to a job? Why is that our life
Is this all that we have to look forward to?
But like, why can't it be like you wake up and choose what you want to do every single day?
Yeah, I don't like that I have to work until I'm 65 years old
it doesn't
just
make
to
sense.
finally travel. Like, that's just not right.
It doesn't make sense. Truly. Like, that I can't just pick what I want to do all the time and I have to figure out
capitalism and all of that. I miss caveman era. I used to live during.
I know, you said
like trading and whatever. I don't know. We weren't meant to work like this. It's just like not natural.
No, it doesn't
and
sit right with me.
out on so much opportunities.
Yeah, I tell everyone this. Even if we didn't have a job and we could do whatever we want whenever we wanted, we still would not be able to go everywhere we wanted to in this life. Even if we didn't have a job. There's still too many places and too many things to do in this world that even if we had all the time in the world, no job, still could not. We could get to most, but still could not do everything we want to do.
Well, that's why so many females resort to OnlyFans and Pornhub and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's becoming like more and more prevalent, and even people around us, and you might have, I mean, you said there was another bartender that did OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's just becoming more and more popular, and it's making me sad that people have to resort to that. They might actually like enjoy it, but on the flip side, most people just do that to get a quick money and quick income. And at many points in my life, I've considered like, should I just become an OnlyFans girl? Because at this point, like, I need money, but I'm like, no, I have more self-respect for myself. I can't do that.
I know, it's really,
that's why people do it, because they're just like, what else? Let me just sell my body online.
And you don't have to work for anyone. You don't have to respond to anyone, listen to anyone. No one's your boss. You're your own boss. How it should be.
But I believe eventually that website's just not going to exist.
Oh, yeah. Not even that, but eventually you're also going to get old, and you're not going to be able to do it forever.
Even if you become successful on OnlyFans or other platforms like that, your taxes will be insane. You'll owe so much money, I've heard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think OnlyFans, the website itself, takes 25% of your earnings.
Damn, 25
which is
a
pretty
lot.
significant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's just not something long term.
That'd be so cool that eventually, if you're like podcasts or anything like were to pop off, and then you actually create like revenue from it.
Yeah.
But it takes like 5 to 10 years to consistently be working to eventually get recognized. I've learned.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be like a YouTuber or something like that. I used to want to do makeup tutorials when I was in high school, but that's why I haven't even posted like my own podcasts and episodes and stuff too. I've just been like lazy, and also I just didn't want it to sound unnatural, but I think it's really amazing that people actually get paychecks from this kind of stuff.
No, I would love to. If podcasting could be my thing forever, I would love that. If I was getting paid off of that and it could be a career, because this is something I love to do, right?
But there's like an overflow now. I feel like there's almost like too many podcasts.
There is, but also if it does take 5 to 10 years, a lot of people drop off before that. Mm-hmm. So really only some people like make it, because nobody really wants to sit there for 10 years and not even see results. But if you push through that and you eventually do pop off, you're like, wow, it was worth it. Like, you know.
And that's why I'm telling you, you should start filming your podcast as well to expose it on platforms like YouTube.
I know. I have to get something for sure.
I thought you said you had a really nice camera, right?
Yeah, I do. I never like to get ready for the podcast.
Oh, yeah. You'll never find me making a deliberate YouTube video and posting it looking like a bum. That's another thing, too. I'm like, ew, I actually have to look presentable.
Yeah.
I'd be just wearing hats like this.
I mean, it literally takes me 2 seconds to do my makeup, but it's just the thought of it.
Yeah.
And I have to figure out how to use the camera, upload it. I think my problem is trying to figure out how the camera gets in sync with the audio. Yeah.
There's apps and stuff like that and softwares. I've been researching it and dabbling with it. It worked once. It worked fine, and like my mouth like and everything in the video like lined up with the audio. Oh, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty sick.
What'd you video it off of?
This cruddy like camcorder from like the early 2000s where I used to film myself when I was like 12, and I like the quality is great with the lighting and stuff, but I actually don't think it would last for the duration of an hour or two. I think it would stop recording.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So, but I also renamed my podcast for the 5 millionth time. There's something about it. I'm just like, before I do anything and post it, like I'm not feeling it. So I actually named it, and this is for sure the very last time I would do it because I'm getting sick of it, is Societal Reject.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. Yeah.
Because I'm just very outspoken. I don't live to the natural expectations of
I like that,
society. Yeah.
Did you keep the same picture or you change it?
I changed it. I changed it.
I'll have to look at what it is.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, it's just tough being like a solo podcaster.
Oh yeah, no.
And having nobody, oh my gosh. Having nobody, I'll edit this out. Having nobody to bounce off of necessarily.
Yeah, that's I definitely cannot do a solo.
And I want it to be genuine too. Like the premise behind, oh my gosh. The premise behind why I want to do my podcast, where it kind of like is similar to yours, but at the same time I'm like, it's like kind of like a Good Luck Charlie type of deal.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because I've always grown up, like, whenever I've had issues... Hello? Whenever I've had issues, whether it's, like, going through puberty, or, like, even when I said I wanted to do makeup tutorials, I always, like, watch videos on how to improve, or I always like to look up videos where someone's going through the same thing in life as me, so they can give me advice, like big sister advice. So I'm like, oh, that's like kind of what I want to do, and like be outspoken and like talk about like just stories about life, and not in a sense where I'm knowledgeable and I'm just spewing out advice. It's just be like, learn what not to do, and also you're not the only one who feels crazy out there, because I've lived my life where I'm just like, am I the only one? Like, even for example right now, am I the only one who's 25 and is still having an identity crisis and not like engaged or anything? There's more people than you think out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'd like to like hear from other people and share their stories as well.
Yeah, no, that's a cool idea.
Maybe I can be a little girl's help where they look up advice or anything to help them with their confusing time in their lives, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's just keep the cycle going.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound robotic and not like sound genuine. That's why I keep recording and then not posting it.
Yeah, it's definitely super hard when you're by yourself and you have nobody to bounce off of. It's super tough.
I feel like I'd have to edit it, like, not so much, but a lot, where I'm just, like, dozing off, and I'm just like, oh, what else did I know? Or I just lose track of what I'm saying.
Yeah, also, usually podcasts by yourself are a little bit shorter in general, too. It's just tough to, like, go so long by yourself.
And it's a very, I wouldn't say narrow, but specific type of, like, category of stuff I'd talk about, whereas yours is, like, a broader, like, spectrum of things. Like, you talk from, like, social, like, societal issues to, like, conspiracies or astrology and then life. So, like, you have a lot more to talk about than I would.
But it's because I have you and my friend Sori to bounce ideas off of. I really could not sit here and do it by myself.
Yeah, and versus, like, me talking about my personal life, I've been working on not oversharing, but that's the thing with, I mean, I be talking about past events, so it's not like I'm telling people what I'm doing right now, because I believe moving in silence is the best.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't know how I feel just exposing all of my personal information out there, so I need to learn, like, a healthy way to do that. And it just scares me. Like, I don't want strangers to know what I've been up to, but it's for the greater good. Watch, I have, like, 2 views. That's fine, though.
I mean, you gotta start off
somewhere.
And you grow,
Yeah. And, like, I'm just afraid of, like, I've seen, like, TikTokers say, like, oh my gosh, these people I graduated high school or college with, they would share my videos, or, oh my gosh. Hello. They would share my videos or anything and, like, make fun of me in their group chats, and I'm just
oh well.
I know that would happen to me.
Oh well.
But yeah.
We're grown now.
Yeah, man.
Past that high school phase.
Ew, I'm so annoyed by this microphone thing because I have to edit like 4 times, but it's fine. At least it wasn't like that last time we recorded, and it lasted like a full 45 minutes where it was technical issues. But it's because even like every movement I make, that's why the microphone is just like whatever. But I have 3 left. The other one completely broke, remember? Yeah.
I didn't know it completely broke.
Well, for the most part. Wow. And that's why Lexi and I had to share that one microphone one time. So I need these to last.
Yeah, what the hell?
I've only had this for less than a year. So,
did you get a warranty on it?
No, because I'm cheap.
Well, I would still maybe bitch and be like, my one microphone broke last in the year.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Let's see. What time are we at? I feel like we got so long.
An hour and 12 minutes we've been recording.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is not as long as I thought, but it's still long.
Yeah. I mean,
what's the longest that you've recorded?
Honestly, maybe only an hour and a half. Maybe at most an hour 45, but usually I like to keep them in the hour 2.5 range, because after that it just gets kind of like long for people to listen to.
I saw your one friend comment on your TikTok video of the podcast that we did together, and she said that she was gonna like listen to it on her walk or something. What did she think? Did she give like feedback?
I didn't ask her yet, but I was curious.
I wanted to know like what an outside party's point of view is, like, just listening to us talk.
Our TikTok, the one that I posted, the podcast on TikTok, the one popped off.
With the girls' room?
Yeah, I think it got over 2,000 views, which is like
part 1 or part 2?
Part 2.
Okay, so the most recent. Wow.
Yeah, it got. I'm not gonna play right now.
So that just goes to show more stuff you should talk about, like girly pop stuff.
Yeah, most of the podcasts, like I always try to post the podcast, like a clip of the podcast episode on TikTok. They've been doing like just really well for like having like I just started that TikTok. I have only like 16 followers on there, but like the views are getting popped off.
That's how you make TikTok money, is off of the views. I wonder how many views you need to get in order to.
I think you can't start till you have a certain amount of followers.
Oh, okay.
I think you have to have
views.
But you have to have like a minimum of like 1,000 followers, I think.
That makes sense, because you need a minimum of, I think, 10,000 followers on TikTok to even go live.
Yeah, something like that, which is annoying. Yeah, it is.
Whereas Instagram, you could just have 2 followers and go live.
Yeah. But I feel like if I'm consistent with posting these TikToks, eventually I'm hoping one of them will like go viral. And then a lot of people...
Twitch is a good platform too, but that's more so live.
Yeah, I haven't really ever touched into Twitch, but if one video on TikTok goes viral, that's all we need for the podcast to like get some traffic.
Moment where it could just change everything.
It's annoying because it also won't let me put the link to the podcast in my TikTok. My TikTok bio,
like because I
don't have enough followers yet. You have to at least have like 100 or 1,000.
Maybe you can put it in your bio? Question mark or
no,
tree?
No, like I there's no area for even like an actual clickable link. So I just put the name in the bio, which is stupid because if people are going to my TikTok page, everyone just wants to click a link. No one really wants to like go to the page, find out the name, go to your platform, type it in.
That's tedious.
I mean, you know, like more people just want to be able to like click a link.
Right. I would be too lazy. I'm like, okay, I give up.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of annoying, but I'm hoping more people eventually follow. Yeah. It's annoying to get so many views and not like
followers off on the train. Jeez.
What?
I need to hop on the train. Like you've been been so consistent. Like even though like you haven't like gotten that like quote unquote popularity yet, the way you're being consistent is exactly how you like will get that.
I'm trying so
one hit wonder type of deal, and then
it's so tedious though, you know, because like posting just it takes so much effort, especially when you have multiple platforms. So if I'm trying to post it on TikTok, then also post it on Instagram, and then also like share it to my story, and then if I just have like a regular TikTok I want to post on my page, and then like it's just like I don't know why I feel like it's so tedious.
That's why you also, I'm telling you, start filming. You probably get way more views because it makes it more personable.
Yeah,
that's the thing too. I think where I'm nervous, besides like the oversharing stuff, but like putting my face out there and just people making me a laughing stock. But I just need to stop worrying what people think about me.
No, we're gonna record soon and it's gonna be fine. I honestly could care less if I look like this while recording. It really doesn't matter.
And I've heard like the most successful people are the most supportive of like new creators and you know whatever, but it's always the unsuccessful people or the people with normal lives and jobs that make fun of you and like oh she'll never make it. But successful people, usually their stories are from like rags to riches and had to do a lot of things too.
Yeah,
so it's just haters that are too scared to do it themselves, or they secretly kind of want to. So
exactly. Always think about that
because it's just not the norm. Like, ew, like she's doing a podcast. Like, who does she think she is? But screw you, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Pastor Dan has a podcast. I listen to it every so often. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
there was one episode where he was talking about marijuana and like Wiz Khalifa and stuff. Not saying that he did it, but like he was just talking about how like prevalent it is in society, and I just forget how witty and funny he is.
That is funny.
And he does it with John. Yon or Yon. Maybe both.
Is it popping off or what?
Low key.
Do we do visuals?
No, I don't think so.
I know, it's hard, but I feel like, once we do visuals, I think that will boost it a lot. Because on my TikTok, I literally can only post the same cover photo of me screen recording because I'm don't have the videos.
You'll get so many more followers, guaranteed. It's just like how you said, tedious.
People do like to put a face to who they're listening to, you know, and if they can't.
That's why I YouTube and did stuff when I was a kid, because I saw people, I'm like, oh, this is a real life person, so I'm not the only one with these problems, versus if I just saw like the wallpaper of your podcast, like, okay, like I feel like this is not real.
Damn, we really gotta try to.
But I'm more of a visual learner. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. A lot of people are, you know, or visual and audio together, you know. Because sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast, I'll literally go and like look up the guest who's on that show, because I'm like, I need to put like a face to who I'm listening to currently.
And you can just get stuck in just like all of these like links that you click on, and you're like, all of a sudden you find their third cousin.
Yeah,
because you stalked them.
Yeah, for real.
Oh
yeah, we really need to tap into the visuals.
I know,
because
I turn my comments off because I need to get over that. But like seriously, I just don't want anyone to. I don't think I can handle hate comments.
Nobody's going to. It's literally fine.
I don't think I'm gonna read them. Like if I were to ever become popular, God forbid, I would hire someone to like filter out the comments.
I mean, you probably wouldn't even have time for all of them anyways. Think about it. So let me share my one moment of fame. When my one TikTok or two TikToks at different points popped off to over 1 million views, I could not keep up. Like, the way you literally have to just sit there.
Oh, yeah, I remember you actually had a lot of views. It was like when you were reading books or something.
Yeah, but I just posted this TikTok of this one book, and I showed a couple of pages. It was like 12 seconds long. I could not even keep up with, like, the comments and likes, like, every second for, like, 2 weeks straight. Because it pops off for, like, a while. Yeah. And my other one was literally me making this cute little, like, souvenir at the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Also could not keep up with that shit. Like, I mean, the way you feel in that moment, though, when you're like I could just stare at my phone and new shit would pop up every second. Like, I could not respond to everyone. I tried, you know, because I really, like, wanted to be, like, an engaging person on something that blew up. It always sucks when someone asks a question and they don't respond. It kind of sucks. So I tried. But, man, I mean, it was just an insane thing to watch. I don't know.
Now that I'm thinking about this, I totally forgot that I actually had a viral moment too, but it was in my old TikTok account. I should have never deleted it because I had almost 1,000 followers, but that was during the era where I deleted all my social media. Yeah. But I was hoping you could deactivate it and just like re-download it, but no, like it full on deleted it. I was like, oh. But anyways, I had a viral moment, and it was when I was in my weight loss journey, and like,
I feel like I remember that video.
It was a couple years ago, I think, when I got back from basic training. Yeah. But like so many people commented saying there's no way that those two pictures are the same person. I was like, no, I had to actually prove myself though, but it made me feel good. I'm like, wow, like I had such a transformation where you actually think like I had like a fake person look-alike. That was cool. I had, like you said, a lot of people commenting and stuff, and I remember stitching it. And
it's just cool.
People text me like, ooh, I saw you viral. Cameron Taylor hit me up. Yeah, that was cool. That was a one-hit wonder.
I just think it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah. I mean, people like Alex Earl, like she probably was consistently posting, and then all of a sudden she just popped off. So you could be the next one.
I feel like it's a little bit harder to pop off now because so many people go viral on TikTok that it's a little bit. Maybe it's not, but it feels like it's a little harder now.
You just need to find your own niche too. Like she does, like Get Ready With Me's, and she's actually personable. And I'm starting to realize that people who make like relatability content are the people that pop off.
It's that, but you're right. You have to. So TikTok works in the way of the algorithm where you have to do a niche, and if you mess up, like if you change it, like if you were posting all army videos or whatever, and then you just switched up one day and was like, oh, like, I'm going out to eat now, and you're, like, showing different, like, foods, you would probably flop. It's weird. So when you, like, find a niche, TikTok likes it, it will blow that up. But if you switch it, it like, starts to take it back down. That's why a lot of people, like, if they're traveling TikTok, they really only, like, post that. I mean, until you get to, like, a certain amount of fame, like, millions of followers. Right. Then it doesn't really matter. But when you're in the upcoming, you have to stick to the same, like, thing that you're blowing up on. So my podcast TikToks, they're, like, getting a lot of views. If I were to randomly switch up and be like, Get Ready With Me, it would probably flop my account. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could do a Get Ready With Me while you talk about like conspiracies. Yeah, like you can still keep it in the same realm. It's just like
TikTok's so strange. Like realizing their algorithm, it will like flop you if you like switch up what you've been posting.
Yeah. And then like there's things like where you can get shadow banned. I heard that's a thing on Instagram.
It's so bad on TikTok. If you get shadow banned, like you'll not go on the For You page.
It'll be like months or like a really long time for you to get back up and
there will be no notification. Like it will not tell you you're shadow banned. It will literally just put your views way down.
Like someone would have to look you up, physically type in your name in order to watch your video.
Yeah, you would not pop up on the For You page while you're shadow banned.
I wonder how you get shadow banned. Like if you're posting half nude pictures.
I think it's like stupid stuff
or inappropriate content.
Yeah, it's probably that. But
swearing, that's a thing too. Like when people like talk about true crime like content, I hear like TikTokers saying sewer slide, or they have to say essay, or they say unalived instead of murdered, and it's just really interesting.
It is weird. TikTok's
there's like certain words where you cannot say, or you just like. But
then sometimes you can swear and they won't get shadow banned, and it's like strange. It's like
it's like a favoritism type of thing, and like privilege. If you're already famous, they won't take it down. Like if you're Khloe Kardashian, having F-bombs versus a creator like with 3,000 followers, they probably do that. That's what I'm starting to realize. If you're already a rich person or established,
then they're not gonna shadow ban you. Yeah, man. So strange.
Yeah, I took down the TikTok podcast video that you sent me because I feel like we're too much.
Yeah, we're like almost
2 hours.
Yeah,
but that's another one too.
Definitely that can last us like so many different.
Save that in your favorites folder for sure.
I will, and we can like pick through the ones that we want. Like we can go in like order. Like can start at the top of the list and be like, all right, which one do we want?
Yeah. I like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool beans. I get maybe the next time we do this, we'll actually film it.
I think we should.
Yeah, and I have like the cords where I can plug it into my TV, so instead of just looking through a tiny viewfinder, it'll show us up on the television screen.
Cool,
I tried it the other day, and so we would just see us while we're talking.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, because you don't know what you look like on a tiny viewfinder thing.
Yeah.
So
and then eventually when you get that room up and like ready, it's gonna be so sick.
I know. I just need to get my money up, bro.
You're fine, but I'm just like, it's gonna be so sick when it happens.
I know. I have so many visions and plans for it, but I'm just like, we'll see. Hopefully I'll have my moment where I just wake up and just flooded with cash. Yeah,
we'll wake up one day and our podcast will be blown up on TikTok, and it will take off, and there's our career.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, corporate.
And something that you actually enjoy doing versus clocking in a 9 to 5 and you're just dreading like being on Excel for
hours. Like there's no reason why it can't happen, which is like the craziest part to me. Like
it's just a lot of labor and hard work where I feel people don't want to do that. They want to get quick money.
Yeah.
I don't blame it. It's tough.
Working our way up. I mean, I've seen so much improvement in my podcasts being more consistent because I've been podcasting, I guess, consistently for maybe a year, maybe 2. I don't really know, but I've been more consistent as of recent. Been posting every week, trying to get it up, made a TikTok finally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of the same as being disciplined and dedicated enough to go to the gym on a daily basis. Like, not everybody can do it, but they're not capable of the mindset and the motivation. So I think that applies also.
And you're not going to see results right away at the gym.
Yeah, for a while. That's why people go on Ozempic, because they're just too lazy to wait.
Yeah. So same with podcasting. You don't see the results right away. It takes a while.
And they give up after a few months. But people really have to hustle. Even in the music industry, for example, Doja Cat.
Exactly.
She was singing for like 8 to 10 years until she finally blew up. So did a lot of other artists too. Right. You just have to keep working towards it. And yeah, it's going to suck. You're like, well, I'm not even getting recognized and nobody values my work. But it'll take one night, just overnight, and then you're discovered.
Right.
Justin Bieber posted on YouTube until he was discovered.
That's
famous,
true. So. And I feel like a lot of people who have podcasts have been posting on TikTok, and it's helped their podcast blow up.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of small podcast creators on there where they even had like 300 followers, but when they posted with film, they had like 41k likes and views, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. We need to do it.
I know. Yeah, you're right. Next one we should film for sure.
Yeah, because throw the balls.
It doesn't even matter how we look, as long as somebody's like can see. Like, if we are on the For You page and they can see us, like, podcasting like this with our microphones and headphones, like, it looks so professional and legit. Like, people are just going to watch it. But it's also
all about the lighting, too, so we have to make sure
that's true. That's true.
Really good lighting.
Right now, it's, like, dim, but yeah.
Right. Where, okay, the content would be grainy if you don't have good lighting.
That's true.
So, I don't know. How do we end this?
Oh, well... Thanks, guys, for listening. We appreciate you.
We'll be back. This is like part 3 or 4.
This is 3.
Times.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll be back.
Yeah. I think we had a really good long chat today. If you guys haven't, give us a follow if you're new here. Oh, you can go check out the TikTok page and give it a follow.
I
feel like my followers on the podcast should be following my TikToks too.
Oh, absolutely.
I have not really promoted the TikTok that much on the podcast, but yeah, the TikTok I think is Witchy Woman Podcast 444.
I'm dead. The name was already taken, so we had to put 444.
But that's yeah, funny. So go follow the talk. Yeah, we'll be back again soon. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, maybe in a couple of days, maybe next week. We'll see.
All right, have a good day, guys. Also, if you haven't, so follow, and then also go to the Apple Store. Or no, Apple Podcasts. I'm on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but go there and leave a rate and review because that helps. When you rate and review, it pushes the podcast up to the top.
I make sure to do that every time I'm on.
Yeah, especially like in my category. Like I like that podcasts are in different categories. So mine is like categorized in spirituality. So like I'll only pop up in those. Right. So if there's like a handful of those, if you guys rate and review, it bumps me up like to the top more. So like whoever has the most reviews and rates are at the top of when you type in spirituality podcast, they like pop up first. So yeah. So yep, go do that. Like, rate, review, follow, and catch us at the next episode.
To be continued.
All right, peace out, everyone.
Bye.